Hey guys, what's up? In today's video, I want to nerd out a little bit, basically, because I got my hands on a full set of the 2012 original TMNT action figures, Nickelodeon action figures, and the 2016 version of the exact same action figure. And I thought I'll do a quick comparison video because when I ordered the second batch, the 2016 one, I kind of wanted to know the differences to the previous one. Is it the exact same figure? What are the differences? So we're going to look at that in this video. I don't think anyone will ever watch this video because it is very specific, but I enjoy making content like this and I really enjoy looking at these little intricate details of these figures. So let's get right into it. One thing as a disclaimer, I'm not going to get into accessories. The 2012 ones, which are the four on the front, do come with more accessories, but I'll explain to you in a second why that is. The four in the back just come with one set of weapons per character, while the 2012 ones come with various little extra nunchucks and additional, throwing stars and little few accessories and gadgets that come with it. But besides that, there's not much to say about the accessories, and I really want to focus on the sculpts of these figures. So let's get right into it. I'm going to start off just randomly on the right here with Donatello. So you can see, on first glance, they do look very, very similar. You know what? I'm going to change the camera really quick so we get a better glance at those, and then we're going to talk this through. So looking at Donatello here, at first glance, they do look like the exact same figure, but when you look a little bit closer, you can actually find quite a few little differences where they resculpt parts. So just for reference, the one here on the left is the 2012 version, and that one is the 2016 version. So the first thing you notice, or that I noticed at least, are the eyes, right? The eyes are significantly different. Can you see that? The 2016 version the eyes are less sunken in, they're much bigger, they're much more almond shaped, and they just kind of feel a bit like they're stenciled on, while the 2012 version has these really beautiful sunken eyes which give the mask a lot of definition, right? You can really feel that it's just a mask that is worn on top of the skull, while this one feels a bit, I don't know, it just has less definition. So that is a little bit of a shame. Also interesting, look at the two heads of these figures. I'm not sure this can be captured in the camera that I'm using, but the 2012 version is much shinier. It has like a shiny, nearly glossy finish, while the one from 2016 has a matte finish. And on that end, I have to say that I do enjoy the matte finish a little bit more. I think it just looks better. The shiny, I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of that. And the biggest difference is the sculpt of the feet. Look at the feet. These are the 2012 turtle figures. These are the 2016 one, just for reference again. So you can see they really completely resculpted. I tried to find an angle to show this here most efficiently, to resculpt the feet according to the TV show, right? So if you're watching the TMNT 2012 TV show, then you know the feet, they look like this. You get a lot of close-up shots of this. And they do look cool. Also, they've added a lot of definition to these kind of bandages they wear here, right? So if you look at the version on the left, it seems a little bit washed out. It has less definition. This one, while the new one, the 2016 one, has a lot of definition, and they really went to work on that again. Besides that, besides the things I just pointed out, these two figures are very, very similar. I feel that the purple, and I don't think you can see this, but I feel the purple is slightly off, and obviously I don't know which purple is correct or more correct. On the back, just for reference, they do look very similar. I noticed that on the 2012 version, the definition of these little details on the belt and all that, it's slightly nicer. You can see they use the exact same sculpt, which is interesting, right? So here you can see that line. Can you see that? That's like where the sculpt, the little shape was closed. And you can see the exact same pattern here. So they must have used either a reproduction or like the exact same mold, basically, to create those. And then there are like really minor details. So you can see little scratches that are down here on the leg, which are less defined over here. And just minor details. But all around, they do look very similar. I also feel that they are slightly off with the green. The green itself is not exactly 100% the same, but that might be because the figure on the left is so many years old, much older than the right, so that it literally, because I'm not storing them in a box or anything. I give them to my son and he plays with them. So I feel that this might have suffered a little bit under the sun, which is why you get like a slight degrading in color. So that much to Donatello. Let's jump to the next figure. My favorite turtle actually is, hit the microphone there, sorry for that, Leonardo, right? So again, on the left, it's the 2012 version, on the right, the 2016 version. And now look at the difference between those eyes. Look at the difference. I mean, honestly, who would sign this off? Who would sign these eyes off when you're coming from that, right? Like, that looks badass. That just looks cool. That's a cool sculpt. That just looks really neat. I feel it's reminiscent of the show. I didn't put them next to each other. But then this one, the eyes are just too big. I do appreciate that they didn't put eyeballs in, and they do this with some of the new Turtles figures where they have like little blue eyes in there, eyeballs. But I don't like it. So I was quite happy that they re-released those with white eyes. But they are just too big. I mean, it doesn't look right, does it? Or is that just me? Leave your thoughts down in the comments, how you feel about this, because I feel it's not right. It's too big. Again, the feet, you can see the difference right here. He's got the very well-defined 3 toes, 2012, 2016, the same feet that you get in the show. Besides that, we get minor color differences. I think, again, the figure on the left is just a little bit washed out, but like the chest plate here is slightly darker. It has a darker rubber, and it's also a little bit more flexible, so you can feel it's not the same material. This one on the 2012 feels a bit more weighty with a higher quality. This one feels a bit floppy, but again, obviously they need to be flexible for the legs to move, so I guess it makes sense to go for something that doesn't destroy the figure's surface here, when you move it too much or gives too much resistance. So overall, happy with it. One other difference that I noticed is that the headband of the 2012 figure is matte, while the headband of the new one, 2016, is shiny. So for whatever reason, on this figure, they went for a shiny finish of the headband. And I have no idea why. Again, I have to say I do prefer this version much more. It's like it just feels better. It feels more right to me to make it matte. I don't think it's a good idea to give these headbands like a plasticky, shiny finish, because it just makes no sense. They are made from a textile, so why would they be shiny? Come on, apply some logic to the Turtles universe. Yeah. Anyway, so do like the figure. I think they both look great. Still sticking with the original one. By the way, one word quickly before I forget. The 2016 version, that was released in a 4-pack, right? So you can now buy all these 2016 4 Turtles in a pack. I'll link that down in the description, the Amazon link, so you can order that if you want. I think it's definitely a great deal, because normally these figures cost like, I don't know, £8-9 per figure. But there you get all 4 of them for just £20. So that's good, £5 a figure. And the differences are not that big that, it wouldn't justify a price like that. I think £20 is a really good deal. So if you're a Turtles fan, then definitely go for that, or if you enjoy these toys. Cool, so we're looking at Raphael. And again, it is the obvious differences we already spoke about. The feet are different. Ironically enough, on this one, they made the shiny headband of the 2012 version matte in the 2016 version. So it's exactly the other way around as it is with Leonardo. So I don't know why they're making these decisions. I think in regard of the eyes, Raphael kind of gets away with it, because they made them quite small, and even they're less defined in the new one. You see they go less down into the actual headband compared to the 2012 one. Which is it just looks better, right? When you look at it like that next to each other. It makes such a big difference to me, that the eyes just go in and that you have more definition to this. But anyway, besides that, it is not that much to say. It is just the point about the headband. God knows why they decided to make some of them like shiny. and some of them matte suddenly. On this one, I did notice that the 2016 version has a slightly darker tone to the bandages that he's wearing, and also like the protective gear and all that stuff. I don't think that is worn out from the sun. I'm not sure you can actually see that, but it is much more like walnut dark tone here compared to a slightly warmer, nearly reddish tone of brown here. Let me see if I can put them next to each other, because they're quite significantly different. Let me see if the camera can adjust. Do you see that? It's a very, very different brown of the two figures. So I don't know where these decisions come from. Maybe they reworked their color palette and then had to adjust this. Maybe one of them just wasn't produced 100% correct. But I did notice that the colors on all these brown pieces around the whole body is slightly off, and I don't know which one is the correct one. I'm assuming it's the 2016 version because that's the latest one. To be honest, if you don't look super closely, you don't even notice it. It doesn't really bother me. It's just something I thought I'll flag up. And then the last figure, we're looking at Michelangelo, the smallest figure from the four. Let me see if I can put them neatly next to each other. Again, on the left, we see the 2012 version versus the 2016 version. And just for reference, so you can see that it is written under the sole of them. I hope you can see this. Let me see if I can get a good angle on this. Here we go. So you can see 2016 Viacom, 2012 Viacom. And besides that, all the details are the same. They're both made in China. And then the new one, the 2016, all of the four new 2016 versions get a little signature, like a unique serial number, which these ones don't have. The 2012 ones, they don't have that detail. It's interesting. Don't know. I'm not sure why they do that. Maybe it's just to prevent replicas from happening if they don't have the right serial number or identifying fakes. But let's talk about these figures. So again, I'm bringing it in a little bit. Look at those eyes. Look what they're doing to the eyes of the 2016 figure. I don't understand, because they already have this sculpt. Why would they redo it and then kind of ruin it with it? And especially this one. If you look at it, it just looks like a cheap stencil. Do you know what I mean? It has no depth. It has no definition to it. While this one looks so much better. Again, the color slightly off. You can see the chest plate on the right one being slightly darker. Also, again, being slightly looser. Oh, actually, yeah, a little bit more loose, this chest plate. Like, it just feels a bit more wobbly. Again, I feel that the details on this belt, I'm not sure that comes through the camera, but are slightly better defined on the 2012 version than compared to 2016. It feels a bit washed out. And besides that, they are literally identical. The orange of the headband is a little bit more bright in the new version. But that, again, might just be because it washed out over the years. So I'm not sure that's like a point I can criticize. I think they look good. They both have a similar finish. They did go a little bit more shiny on the headband on this one, but I don't feel it's as shiny as they did with Leonardo, because that was just too much. It just looked plasticky and a bit cheap. So I do appreciate that finish. It actually looks really good. It looks really smooth and matte as well, with a very subtle finish. And then the old one is a little bit rough, actually, if you look at that detail on those two. The old one has a little bit of a rough finish. But again, I'm a big fan of both of those figures. I think they look really good. Other small details differ. Look at the difference of the bandages around the hand. Those are much more beige, while these ones are much whiter. So in the 2012 version, they are whiter. The feet, again, I think, again, all the protective gear has a slightly different tone, a slightly darker tone. Compared to the original one, but these two do look very, very similar, and there's, besides what I mentioned, not much that I can say about those. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any thoughts on it, if anyone actually watched it to this point, then please leave a comment. I would very much appreciate that. I really enjoyed making it because I really love looking at those figures, and I'm happy to have two sets of them now to compare them, and I really enjoy making this video. So I hope you enjoyed it too. Guys, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, do whatever you do on YouTube. You know, people talk about activating this bell, so do it. Hit that bell, you know, do bell stuff, God knows. No, it's fine. Just leave a like. I appreciate you watching this video. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. Guys, take care, and I'll see you next time. Signing out. Just put in the last figure here. Here we go. Oh boy. Signing out. This is bad timing. This is not how this video should end. Awkward. This is awkward. This is so awkward. There we go.